Greetings and welcome to A Moment of Grace. Hi, I'm Reverend Steve Ostendorf, pastor of Grace United Church of Christ in Taneytown, Maryland. Thank you for joining us for our daily devotion. Yesterday we spoke about fasting from the world and spending some time with God. For many of us, as we said, that is done on Sundays. And we remember the commandment to keep the Sabbath holy. But putting aside time to be with God, to read about God, to pray, to reflect on your faith, all these things are very important. And in that way, we grow in our faith in God. Today we look at how Jesus even spoke to his disciples, who we would look at as people who were pretty perfected in their faith, or at least were trying and had many more abilities and opportunities than we will ever have. But even then, Jesus was telling them they had much to learn. And we can take a lot of information from that as well as people who are growing in faith today. So our reading for today comes from the book of Thomas in chapter 138, as found in the Unknown Sayings of Jesus by Marvin Meyer. The Savior answered them and said, "If what is visible is obscure to you, how can you comprehend what is invisible? If the deeds of truth that are visible in the world are difficult for you to accomplish, how then will you accomplish things pertaining to the exalted greatness and the fullness which are invisible? How then will you be called workers? For this reason you are students and have not yet attained the greatness of perfection." Here ends the words of Jesus as found in the book of Thomas. Well, friends, in Jesus speaking to his disciples, I'm sure in some way they might have been asking about when will they get to do the acts and the miracles that Jesus is doing. And it seems like that's what he is addressing in this particular group of sayings. And it's really speaking to the understanding that they are his students while they are with him, that they are going along with him, and Jesus is teaching them and teaching the crowds, and that Jesus is doing the works of miracles, feeding miracles, healing miracles, and opening people's eyes, not just the blind, but opening people to the truth as God would have them to see it, and not maybe as the Pharisees or scribes have tried to explain to them. Well, we can take some comfort in knowing that even those who literally got to walk with Jesus were only considered students at a time. For we too, in our day and age, as we are seeking God, often feel like we are students, still trying to learn. At least those of us who are humble and displaying some humility understand we all have something that we need to learn. That includes me and any pastor out there. We have much to learn when it comes to faith. And so we can take some solace from this particular lesson from Jesus to his disciples. But it harkens me back to another passage where Jesus asks those who are questioning him, you can feel the wind, but you don't know where it comes from or where it goes. And so if you can't understand earthly things, how will you understand the heavenly things that I am trying to teach you? And what Jesus is saying to them is, you guys who are supposed to know everything, you have much to learn as well. So what I'm hoping that we can understand from this is that we are all on a path of learning and knowledge and understanding. And Jesus sees us that way. God understands that we're all learning as we go. And that's part of what this life is. It is a learning experience, something for us to have and to hold on to with all of its good celebrations and even with its sorrows. All of it is teaching us something. And along the way, if we are truly seeking God, we will start to be able to understand the things that are happening around us. We'll be able to accept those things better and understand how God is a part of all things and how God is working in our lives. In that day and time when we reach that pinnacle of, I guess, when we're not students any longer, will probably be at the point in time when we are close to meeting God face to face. And so let's look upon learning as part of faith, and faithfulness is part of a lifetime of learning and lessons that are ahead of us. Take comfort in the fact that there are many who are seeking, just as you are in churches all around the world. We are all students together, seeking to live out the teachings of Jesus and to understand him and to know him more fully, that we may know God. Well, friends, I hope that through this it'll have you thinking about your own time where you are seeking God, how you may be earnestly seeking to learn and understanding your place as a student of faith and a student of Jesus, and how we will continue to learn from him. I hope that you will reflect upon those things you have already learned, and then recognize that there is still much yet to come. But with humble hearts, we can continue to seek, and we will find, so long as we set that time aside to be with God and to learn more about our Savior. Would you join with me in just a moment then of prayer? Gracious and eternal God, we give you thanks for all the opportunities in this life that teach us more about you. Help us in humility to recognize that we are students of faith, that none of us has all the answers, but that you are revealing things to us daily, that you show us things, oh God, through wisdom and truth. You show us things through the daily experiences, the joys and the sorrows, and that you continue to reveal your love to us each day of this life that you give us. Remind us of these things, oh God, and help us not to give up, but to continue to pursue you, that the knowledge and wisdom that you give may lead us to better life and a greater perspective of the life you offer us. For we lift our prayer in your holy name. Amen. Friends, thank you for joining with us today. We hope to see you back here real soon, where we can look at more sayings of Jesus. Take care now.